Welcome to Meet the Candidates 2013, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber of Commerce. My name is Angie Whitcomb. Our hope is that these candidate profiles and interviews will help you, the voter, understand your choices when it comes to the 2013 election. We ask voters to arm themselves with the information necessary to make educated choices and to get out the vote on November 5th. Please visit the Chamber website to find out information about future candidate debates, as well as polling hours and locations. And thank you for making the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau your election information resource. Hi, and welcome to Meet the Candidates 2013, a voter education program brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. My name is Angie Whitcomb, and I am joined today by Scott Swanson, a Shakopee School District School Board candidate. Scott, thank you for being here today. We
appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Great. Why don't you give the audience a brief introduction of yourself?
As Angie said, my name is Scott Swanson. I've been married to my lovely wife Janelle for 18 years. I've spent 12 of those years living here in Shakopee. I am the proud father of 3 very energetic young children. I have an 11-year-old daughter, our eldest. Her name is Kiara Cosette, and she attends the Pearson 6th grade center. My oldest boy, Blake Alexander, is 9 years old, and he is a 4th grader at Eagle Creek Elementary School. And our youngest, Parker Michael, is a 1st grader, also at Eagle Creek Elementary. My education background, I actually attended high school in Farmington. College, I attended at Mankato State University, and I'm currently finishing up my final exams, working on my Certified Mortgage Banker designation with the Mortgage Bankers Association out of Washington, D.C. Each day, I hop in the car and I head north to the former Honeywell location in South Minneapolis to Wells Fargo Funding. I am a vice president of correspondent operations, and I've worked for Wells Fargo for 17 years. The long and the short of it is I manage teams of people that purchase mortgage loans from other mortgage banking institutions on the secondary market. As far as community service is concerned, I've got a very extensive history of active community service here in Shakopee. Back in 2006, I helped work with the Parks and Rec Department on the Huber Park band shell. I also helped the construction of the park itself in October of 2006. In 2010, I was given the opportunity to join the Facilities Task Force for the school district. That led into a great honor of being appointed to the school board in 2011. Started my term in January 2012, and I'm ready to seek legitimate election.
There you go. Well, let me ask you this, Scott. In your view, what has the district done well over the last 5 years, and what have they done that you would like to improve upon, that maybe they didn't do so well?
What have they done well? I'll start by saying they have done a lot well, probably a lot more than most voters are actually aware of. One very specific example I would say would be our facilities and our buildings. I would say that our existing board and existing and previous administration has done a fantastic job of designing buildings that are smart and making them at the right time and at the right price. I think there's a lot to be said, for example, such as the design of the elementary buildings, Sun Path through to Jackson. That is a great example of forward thinking, because that's a design that we can capitalize on every time we consider a new elementary school. Another example of things that are done well is finances. The fact of the matter is our district is very, very solid in financial management, and our voters should be very proud of that. Examples would include the recent refinancing of the bonds from previous referendums. Most taxpayers may not be aware, but due to the refinancing over the last year or two, we've saved upwards of $5 million to our taxpayers. So that's some great financial management. As well, we've got a very healthy fund balance, which also shows fiscal responsibility. And the auditors that came in and looked at our budgets actually were very pleased to see that about 85% of the revenue that we have coming into the district really is going directly back to students and student education. So those are some things we're doing well. Some things that we have some opportunities in would be technology. I'll start out by saying, from a technology perspective, previous boards have done a good job of trying to be pioneers with technology. They introduced a lot of great opportunities for our school and our students 7-8 years ago. I think we would all agree that iPads and Chromebooks and the internet and the cloud and things like that aren't going away anytime soon. And the fact of the matter is, technology is an integral part of our learning right now. And Although the pioneering spirit was there, what was missing was the long-term sustainability. So as a result, we sit here in 2013, we've got some ailing infrastructure with regards to technology. We've got no shortage of desire and opportunity, but what we have is a network that just can't support what we want to do right now. That said, this existing board and administration are doing a fantastic job of taking a step back and using an outside company to reevaluate our needs and find out what do we need to do to make sure that our technology dollars are being maximized. And so a lot of the right positions are being created right now from a technology perspective, and a lot of the right infrastructure is being put in so that future technology dollars are going to be spent towards advancement as opposed to maintenance of ailing equipment.
Great. So, currently serving on the school board, what are the outputs that matter the most to you? And how will you continue to be accountable, or how are you accountable for them right now? And how will you be continuing that on should you be reelected?
It's a great question. At the end of the day, everything comes back to student achievement and increasing student achievement, improving student achievement. And for me, it becomes a question of, are we creating the opportunities necessary to actually increase student achievement or not? One example that I would ask is the voters is, does a single test score based on a state administered test define student achievement? Is it defined by leadership? Is it defined by self-esteem? Is it defined by somebody that can learn a trade, or somebody that can trademark a brand new product or service that they've created? At the end of the day, we need to make sure that we're creating opportunities so that our kids can be successful in whatever areas they were meant to be successful in. And that means, quite frankly, from an output perspective, asking some tough questions. We want all of our kids to go to college. That would be every parent's desire. That would be the community's desires, that we all have kids that are going to college and that are successful and making very meaningful contributions to the world. But I think we need to be realistic and say that's not the path that every student is going to take. And that doesn't mean we give up on them. What we need to be doing is finding out, what are they good at? So Jimmy isn't good at math necessarily, but what is Jimmy good at? And then working hard and fighting to get Jimmy all of the skills that he needs so that he can be successful in the global marketplace.
Great. So whose interests should matter in the governance of a school district, and in what ways should they matter?
It's a great question. I would say whose interests don't matter is probably a better way I might ask that question. Everybody's interests matter. Every individual, every entity. We could start with the students. At the end of the day, it's all about student achievement and maximizing student achievement and providing the opportunities. And if whatever decisions we're making as a board do not directly or indirectly positively impact student achievement, then we're making the wrong decisions. We need to be making decisions that create opportunities for our gifted and talented kids, as well as taking care of those that need some additional special services. Our teachers and our administrators, we need to be providing opportunities that attract and retain high quality talent in both of those areas. People want to be a part of a winning team. We need winning superstars as far as administrators are concerned. These administrators drive the activities in the building. So as a result, if we're making decisions as a board that generate those folks and create an excitement to come down here, we're going to attract and retain the right talent. We've got taxpayers whose finances we need to be good stewards of. We've got parents who have desires and goals for their kids, and they entrust us with their kids every single day. Excuse me. And as a result, we need to be making sure that we leave no stone unturned for those kids on a daily basis. We've got coaches, we've got athletes, we've got directors, we've got artists that we need to ask ourselves, are we competitive? Do we have enough programming to match the skill sets for our kids? Are we making sure that there's a good balance between the programming we have and the academics that we have? And basically, again, everything comes back to creating those opportunities, and we're accountable to everybody. And I'd also say we're also accountable to the state and the regulating bodies. There are certain things that we can and can't do as boards, and we're definitely accountable to them, because I promise they will know if we're not playing the game the way we need to be playing it. And as far as how am I personally going to be held accountable, I will be held accountable because my views and my votes will be very public. You will see everything that I say You will have firsthand knowledge of my research, my opposition, my challenges, and my support. And at the end of the day, I'll be asking myself the same question, and that is, does this opportunity positively impact student achievement?
Okay. One final question here for you, Scott. How does a school board balance the need to provide a quality education with the need to respond to the local taxpayer burden?
Another great question. I would suggest that there are no shortage of opinions on how tax dollars need to be spent. I would like to remind our voters that I'm also a taxpayer. And at the end of the day, when you are entrusted to spend somebody else's money, with that comes a great deal of responsibility. And I take that very seriously. It all comes down to trust. You, as a voting public, need to trust the decisions that your school board is making. You need to trust that they've done their due diligence, they've done their homework, that they know what they're doing and they know why they're doing it. And if you trust what they are doing, you will support them with your funds. Now, along with providing funds as a taxpayer, there's transparency and communication that's necessary. It is very important that the board provide our citizens and our taxpayers with the facts. They need to know exactly what's going on. They need to know exactly why we've made the decisions we made and why at the end of the day we have to make this particular purchase, or we have to levy. I mean, a levy, for all intents and purposes, is just an opportunity for me to acquire some more of your tax dollars without having to ask for your permission. I have a responsibility, if I'm going to do that, to make sure that you know I have left no stone unturned. I have exhausted every other funding vehicle or mechanism that's out there, and this is a responsible thing to do. And for me, it comes down to the why and not the like factor. As a board member, it's not my job to make you excited about potentially increasing your tax burden. It's not my job to make a levy feel better for you. It's my job to make sure that you understand the why behind it, that you understand the history, the facts, the data, the background, so that when you are in a position that you have to make a decision, you won't make that decision based on a knee-jerk reaction or an emotion, but you'll make that decision based on hard facts. And although you might not like it, you won't be able to deny that you know what the facts are. And it's my hope as a board member that by providing you the communication, the transparency, and the facts, that even if you're not extremely excited about it, when the time comes to do what you need to do, you will vote based on an educated position.
Thank you, Scott, for sharing your time and for speaking to our voters today. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Angie.
Thank you for joining this edition of the 2013 Meet the Candidates, brought to you by the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. Please be sure to check out the Chamber's website at shakopee.org for all information leading up to the November 5th, 2013 election.